first check the sound.
Hey guys, happy late morning to everyone. It is Monday, a balmy 104 degrees here in New York. No, it's Monday, November 14th, 2016. Had a very productive weekend. All the political news has settled in. I think there are some sporadic protesting across the country, but for the most part, I think we are all on the collective same page. We are moving in one direction, because if we move in any other direction besides that one, bad things are going to happen. I had a ridiculously social weekend, like far more social than I ever have. Like, who am I to ever, stay up past 8:04 p.m. And Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, I was like the bomb. I was like as cool as it gets. Now, let me just say, not every event was the coolest event. Friday night, for example, I went to my neighbors for a Shabbat dinner. Now, before you start saying, all right, calm down
Shalom.
with the cool dinner. This family was, first I'm going to give you my Friday, my Saturday, my Sunday. We start off with Friday night. So Steph is very smart. I mean, one of the smartest women I've ever met. And I don't think you need a piece of paper or a resume or a college degree from a specific college to deem yourself smart. But she went to Georgetown. She is extremely curious. She's well-read. Her mom always told me she was Mensa when she was younger, but Steph won't admit it because she's humble. You know how most smart people are. Anyway, brilliant. Now, she carries the intellectual workload with our family. Like, when the kids have problems with homework, they're going to Steph. If they're going to have problems with a burpee, I should hope they come to me. So just to recap, homework Steph, burpee Jenna. Homework Steph, plus all other intellectual questions, burpee, push-up, anything in that field to me. And I wear that aspect of the parenting cloak very, very. I take that very seriously. That being said, we go over to these people's house. This is the loveliest woman in the world. We'll call her Karen. And she's like, oh, my niece and my nephew are here. I was like, okay, that's fine. So Karen is this like high-powered partner in this law firm. Like, you would think, brilliant. She's like, well, I'm the moron of the family. Here's why. Niece and the nephew. The nephew went to like Harvard undergrad, and he's like the top of his class at Yale Law School. You would never know it. He was just sitting on the couch like sending a text. The daughter, or the niece, graduated at the top of her class from Harvey Mudd, and now she's a physicist working at like the Federal Reserve, like whatever. Her father is a theoretical physics particle.
He's a particle?
How do you say it? He's a theoretical. He does particle chemistry, particle physics. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
He's a chemist.
No, he's not a chemist.
He's a physical.
Like, he basically works with NASA and is like basically.
He's a particle.
He's
become a particle.
And then the third daughter graduated at the top of her
particle
class.
physicist.
Particle physicist. Theoretical particle physicist.
Thank you, Sahil Gupta.
Yeah, he's a theoretical particle physicist. And then the third kid, that's the father. And then the third kid graduated top of her class from MIT and is now basically restructuring Obamacare, like single-handedly. So basically my jaw dropped the entire time. But what did we spend 15 minutes on with this wealth of brain in this one apartment? We spent easily 15 to 20 minutes trying to, those tables that have a leaf in the middle to extend?
Yeah.
2 physicists, a lawyer, a partner in a law firm, and a network correspondent. None of us could figure out how to extend the table.
Did you unlock it?
What?
Did you unlock it?
I don't even know if there was an unlock or an unlock. It was the funniest thing. So of course I took a video of it because I couldn't even put into words like the amount of brain associated with one simple task. Could you guess which one of them finally got it?
Steph.
The physicist.
The physicist.
The physicist figured it out. She figured it out. So anyway, we had a great dinner. It was lovely. And I thought to myself, the whole meal, I'm thinking to myself, look, yes, these kids run intellectual circles around me, sprint intellectual circles around me. And I get that. And guess what? You own it. You have it. You will get 0 argument from me. But where I come in is if we ever all find ourselves in a gym, I will destroy you guys. Like, I will own you. You probably don't even know what a piece of equipment is. You've probably never even seen a treadmill. Like, this was all in my head, of course. Next morning, after a delicious dinner, everything was amazing. I'm at the gym downstairs, like, flexing the proverbial muscle, also trying to work out, thinking to myself, hey, this is my space. I own this space. I live in this. Guess who walks in? the niece and the nephew. Guess what they did? They knocked out 13 miles on the treadmill. These people are superhuman. They have literally put me to shame. I took those two people and I put them up on a pedestal. I say, you guys are going to live here, and I'm going to carry the load down here.
What time are they coming on the show?
Exactly. They're too smart. I wouldn't. And they did this.
They're
right?
too smart for the show?
Listen, they're 5.5 years apart. I thought they were like twins. They're 5.5 years apart. This is the conversations they were having. One says to the other at the dinner table, you remember that article on agriculture and where agriculture has come in the last 100 years? Did you read that in the journal of then some words that I never even heard of? And he didn't say, did you read it? He said, did you read that article? And I stepped up and I said, well, do you guys live together? No. Do you live in the same state? No. Do you guys talk to each other every day? No. I go, well, how would you know that she read some article in some journal of agricultural? Neither of you are even in agriculture. He goes, oh, we generally we do have the same pleasure reading. I go, pleasure reading? I go, let me introduce you to Cat and Hat. That's pleasure reading, okay? Journals of agriculture over the last 100 years. So Steph goes, easy, big fella, easy. She goes, listen, these guys are in a different place than you. Don't try to compete. They're in their own arena. Just let it go. Let it go. So I left there, and then I left the gym, and Karen is the most amazing person in the world, and the next time she says to me, I'm the dumbest one in my family, even a partner at a high law firm here in New York City, I said, you know what, Karen? You're right. Brown graduate, partner, you are literally the dumbest person in your family. So that was Friday night. So I woke up all day Saturday, and I kept thinking about it, and I said, tonight, my domain. 40th surprise birthday party for a colleague of mine. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to rock it out. It was, we actually did it, believe it or not, at a hibachi grill, which my secret love is the hibachi grill. You know, I'm obsessed with food. I like to see you make the food right in front of me. If I can go to a restaurant, you can invite me into the kitchen so I could just sit there and watch what you do. Please, a little bit less butter, not so much oil. You can use the spread. You know what? Take the breadcrumbs out of it. That's me. So Steph said, let's try. I know you're on this diet, but we're at a table with 12 other people. Maybe you don't need to so much with all the arguing. I said, Steph, you're right. Guy comes over. I don't want to call it like a big bowl. It was more like a trough of butter. And I lost it. His name was Romeo. So he sits down, and everyone, and these are all on-air people. Like, these are all, like, NBC on-air people. None of them were people I didn't know. And right away, right off the bat, excuse me. So I can't do butter, very, very little oil. I'm not doing any rice and carbs. Like, I was the loser of the table. Without even placing our order yet. No alcohol, no rice, no butter, no oil. I mean, they basically just threw lettuce leaves at my face all night is what I ate. But we had a good time, and then afterwards we went to do a little karaoke. Let me tell you, not as great a singer as I thought I was. Not as great a singer. Now listen, I put it out there. I sang on this show to Lance.
Yeah.
Not nearly as good.
We're actually arranging for voice lessons for it.
Perhaps singing "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi is not my best.
But you just may have hit the wrong song.
It was the key too high. And, ooh, we're halfway there, and then it goes really high. Ah, too high. I don't live in that space. That's not my space. I need to come down. I'm more in this space. As I learned from Friday night, I don't live in that elite space when it comes to smart people or my voice. I'm very comfortable in this space, and I like to push the boundaries, still gonna stay in this space. And Steph once again whispered in my ear and said, guess what? You're not the best singer, and that's okay. So we had a great night. We came home. Steph went to bed.
Did Steph sing?
Steph did not sing. She turns into like sometimes an adult at those kind of things. The last time I did karaoke was with Lester Holt in Beijing, China. It was me and Lester and 9 other people. We locked ourselves in this little room, a karaoke room as they do in China, and we did karaoke. Lester picked every Earth, Wind, and Fire song, and I picked every Barry Manilow song. It was like the most boring event in the history of the world.
None of you did Saturday Night by the Bay City Rollers?
No, we didn't. We did a lot of Bon Jovi. We did some George Michael. We did some Cyndi Lauper. A lot of 80s stuff. But wait, here's the best part. We come home, Steph goes right to bed, she's exhausted. For whatever reason, and I have never done this before. Now, mind you, this was like 2 straight awesome days not talking about politics at all. Not once at the Shabbat dinner with these really smart people. Or maybe they did talk politics and it went over my head. It was so smart that I didn't get it. Not with all the TV people. It was great. It was like this relaxing night of not discussing politics at all. Steph goes to sleep, and there I am, and it's like 11:15, and I say to myself, you know what, I'm up. This is the latest I've ever stayed up since I had babies. I'm going to watch the beginning of Saturday Night Live. I'd like to see what they're going to do. It's a big deal. Huge event took place this week. Not only was it a presidential election, which is a huge in and of itself, Alec Baldwin has already said he's not going to play Donald Trump moving forward. I'm just curious. So Steph's like gone, completely out cold. I've never ever said I'm going to watch. I've never watched it live. It's the latest I've ever been up, ever. Like I go to sleep at 9 o'clock. But for whatever reason, on this Saturday night, I decide I'm going to watch Saturday Night Live. So I sit down, like at the edge of their little coffee table, and I put on the TV, and I'm just literally going to watch the first 30 seconds and then probably go to sleep. And I just wanted a good laugh. Like, I just needed a good laugh. I sat down. Now, mind you, I'm not obsessed with Kate McKinnon. I mean, she's great. I think she's very talented, but I don't watch the show enough to be obsessed with her. Certainly not obsessed with Hillary Clinton. Wasn't obsessed with Leonard Cohen. Not obsessed with any of these things. Like, I was just moving along life's conveyor belt of happenings. And as politics happen, as social things happen, as Americana, like it just moves forward. So I sit down, local news is over, everything goes to black. And when it comes on, it's a tiny moment of silence. And in that split second, I was like, I don't know, I feel like something pretty incredible is going to happen. When the lights come up, the first thing you see is a woman's hands on a piano. And she starts playing Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Now, mind you...
How does it go?
Heard there was a simple who played the Lord. You know that song. I used to live alone until I knew ya. It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the mighty hand, and the something reach. The baffled king composed it, hallelujah. Okay, so I happen to love the song. Love. Like if I learned how to play that on guitar, that would be like my one go-to song.
And how does the next verse?
Just hold on. I promise I will do it for you. And I sit there. And it's Kate McKinnon dressed as Hillary Clinton. And I'm like, oh, like, how are they going to make this funny? Like, I don't want this to be funny. I kind of want it to be poignant. Like, I'm kind of craving a serious moment, even though I know it's not going to happen because it's Saturday Night Live. And she plays it, and she's playing. Now, I don't even know if some of the verses she sang were Leonard Cohen's real words or it was made for Hillary Clinton. She's like, you know, I tried as hard as I could, but I got it wrong. But this is the Lord's song. Like, all of it. And she's like, I never meant to lie to you. I told the truth as much as I never tried to fool you. I told the truth as I knew it. And she's going and she's going. And the next thing I knew, I don't ever admit this ever, tears are literally flowing down my face. And now listen, some of the greatest singers in the history of our culture have sung this song. Like the Katie Langs and the Brandi Carlisles and everyone on American Idol and obviously Leonard Cohen, like big, beautiful singers. And for whatever reason, this Saturday Night Live actress, Kate McKinnon, sang it and played it. And I have not been very political at all. And I have not been passionate as others at all. And suddenly, as if there was like a death in the family and I like squashed it for like 20 years and never thought about it, then woke up one day and started crying. Like everything came out of me. This is as honest as I could be. I never admit ever when I cry, ever. And I just sat there and I was bawling. And she looks up and like it was begging for her to say something along the lines of like, I was like, please don't let this be funny. Please let it be real. And she said something, whatever it was, like, you know, I'm going to keep fighting. I'm not giving up and neither should you. Right? Like, world didn't end. You know, nobody died with the outcome of the election. She's not going anywhere. So neither should we. Right? And it was like, guess what? Let's all move on from Hillary Clinton. And then she said, live from New York, it's Saturday night. Now, I will beg you, if you have not seen this, don't just go see a clip of it on Twitter or whatever it is, or Facebook.
They have the full thing up on.
They have the full thing up. Watch it.
That's enough.
Give yourself a moment and watch the whole thing. It was single-handedly the greatest thing that happened to me this political season. I know that's ridiculous. You're all going to make fun of me. But if I tell you in that one moment, I felt what all these protesters are feeling and what all these Trump supporters are feeling. I felt the entire political season come to this like crescendo. And I understood it. And I felt something. Like I felt something real for like myself and this country and the direction we're moving in. And believe me, less of a soapbox I could not have for anything that I stand up for or believe in. I'm as self-deprecating as it comes. My soapbox is 2 pieces of wood that's on the floor with the nails in another room. For once, I just felt like I got it, like I understood what all of this, for lack of a better term, mishigas has been about. And I went right to Twitter. Again, I don't always do this. And I said, like, coolest, classiest Saturday Night Live opening I've ever seen. And I thought it was handled as well as can be, as well as I could have imagined. And it was absolutely perfect. It was perfect. And I was tempted to run in and wake Steph up. But if you've ever slept in the same house as Steph, you know that that's probably not your best bet. Nothing goes great when you wake Steph up from a deep, deep sleep to come in and say, watch the opening of Saturday Night Live. But the next morning, she woke up, 5:30 a.m. as we are all up in our house. And I said, I need you to watch this. And she was like, sure. And she grabs her phone and she's looking it up. I said, no. I don't want you to watch it on your phone. And I don't want you to watch it when the kids are going crazy. I said, give them the iPad for 30 seconds, sit down and just watch this. Now, if you think I'm stoic, Steph doesn't cry either. Steph sat down and I put this on the big screen and she sat there and watched it. And I kid you not, she'll probably hate me for saying this, tears streamed down her face as well. And it was just really, really lovely. And I gave her a hug and I was like, I get it. I get how passionate you are and I get how self-righteous people are and how much this affected and hurt some people and how empowered other people felt. So it was really, really cool. So that was my big, coming to a higher power moment on Saturday night, at least politically speaking. And then, and as if that could be topped, last night I went to probably one of the best fish places in the city that I had ever been to. It was really, really amazing. Had a great dinner as we are 7 days till the end of this Fakakta diet.
Fakakta. Is that really only 7 days left?
Yeah, today's 7 days.
8.
7 or 8 days, whatever it is. But I did, how much more?
What time does it end? This is very important.
12:01.
Are we drinking on the...
Yeah, we're gonna have a beer, a glass of wine right on the show. 11 a.m. And a slice of pizza. We should order a pizza. I did
Pizza
the
and a
lobster
beer.
and the crab and the steamed broccoli and how much more of that could I possibly eat? And then I had the girls ordered, it was with a group of 4 of us, and they ordered, it was called a s'mores pizza. I love s'mores, the whole thing with the marshmallow and the sticks and all of it. But they put it on a piece of a tostada with chunks of ganache and marshmallow. Nothing about it was low fat. And they inhaled it, and I sat there with my stupid decaf cappuccino, almond milk I can't even say, I'm dry heaving from saying it. And I flexed my willpower. Boy, did I flex it. And I went to sleep, and I woke up at 5:30 this morning, and I did a workout at 6, and I'm plowing through to the end. Because if you're going to start something, you might as well finish it. And believe it or not, as many things as I love about Lance, and Lance, I know I give you a hard time, but there are a ton of things. The coolest thing that you've said to me so far was when Lance, unfortunately, is allergic to everything and its mother. So he asked me if he finally found out that he could do peanuts his doctor said he can have peanuts. And I said, oh no, without even thinking. I go, you can't have peanuts, that's all I got. I'm like, oh, no legume, you can't with the peanuts. And then I stopped, I'm like, oh, I'm a moron. The guy has nothing to eat. I said, you know what, Lance? Have the peanuts. It's okay. And he wrote back and he goes something along the lines of, once you give in, you give in. So once you start something, finish it. And truer words were never said. So I respect the hell out of you that if you're going to go, you're going to go all the way.
I'm going to go down.
You're going down, you're going down.
I'm going down without peanuts.
The whole Starvation Army. So anyway, that was my incredibly fun, emotional, roller coaster-esque of a weekend. I had a good time. I had it was a long weekend, but it was a great weekend. So that's that. And I will also give 2 housekeeping notes. One, Lance's son is now state champs. He's an absolute rock star in high school basketball, and I don't just say that. So tell me, what did he win?
They won a tournament out in California, a national tournament.
National tournament out in California. Lance took the red eye back, got in at 4, was up at 5. So
I wish I was kidding about that.
No, he's not kidding or exaggerating. Lance does not have the gene to exaggerate. That's the first thing. That's incredible.
And he was all tournament. Thank you.
Tell me his name again.
Isaac.
Rock star. I know you're probably not watching because I'm 27 minutes into a monologue here, but if you are, dude, come hang out with me on the couch. I have a million questions to ask about your dad. Number 1.
So we'll make sure he doesn't come on.
Number 2, one of our good friends who stops by the show a lot is Bianca Turetsky. She's a children's author, and she's so lovely and so kind and has literally and introduced us to so many other guests that we've had on the show. Her father passed away recently this weekend, and we wanted to just obviously send our condolences and let her and her family know that we are thinking of them and sending our prayers and wishes for just a healthy path moving forward. So please, when you are up and at it, come back and come hang out and sit with us again, and we miss you very much. And again, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. So those are the 2 housekeeping notes, and I would love to hear from people, because I'm either going to be mocked for my reaction to Saturday night, or I am not going to be mocked for my reaction to Saturday night. But I will tell you this, the reaction was as true and as raw and as honest as I could possibly give you. So there you go.
Do you want the lyrics to Hallelujah?
Just give me one verse and then I can, yeah.
No, I meant like just to tell you what was like real and not real.
So my favorite line
They're
was,
not long.
I got it wrong.
No, that's not in there. Oh yeah, it all went wrong?
Yes, what was it? It was...
Yeah, so that's, I did my best, it wasn't much.
Best, it wasn't much.
I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch.
So I tried to touch.
I've told the truth.
Yes,
I didn't come
try
to fool you.
ya.
And even though it all went wrong...
Oh, that's the line. And even though it all went wrong...
I'll stand before the long of song.
I'm literally going to cry.
With
I can't even
nothing on
sing
my
that.
tongue but hallelujah.
I mean...
So that's the final verse.
How about that?
Right.
Right?
And so it
I'm not
starts
kidding.
with...
Like, look in my eyes.
see it.
Like, I can't... I don't know. There was something about that one verse that was just, like, super...
It's a good song. My daughter actually walked down at her wedding. There's a Hebrew version. Like, they play when she walked down at her wedding, she walked down to that song.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was just... I don't know. I don't even know why that affects me so much, but...
Hey, you want me to read it to you again?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna have sunscreen in my eyes.
So I'll read you the rest to try to make. Okay. Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the the minor fall, the major lift. You're better at this than I am with reading it. The baffled king composing. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew her. She tied you to a kitchen chair. She broke your throne and she cut your hair.
I love that. She cut your hair.
And from your lips she drew the
Hallelujah.
hallelujah.
I'll have to,
You say the name. You say, I took the name in vain. This is the only one we didn't read, so I'll finish it. I don't even know the name, but if I did, well, really, was it to you? There's a blaze of light in every word. It doesn't matter what you heard. The holy are the broken. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Yeah.
I did my best. It wasn't much. I couldn't feel you. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth. I didn't come to fool you.
I told the truth. I didn't come to fool you. I mean, was that not written for her?
And even though it all went wrong,
Oh, stop.
I'll stand before the Lord of Song,
The Lord of Song.
with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah.
Wow. Oh my God.
John from Cherry Hill is giving the crying emoji.
Yeah.
John from Cherry Hill wanted to know if he should give his Seinfeld
His Seinfeld trivia right
trivia
now?
question.
Yeah.
He had asked before. It was I just have it in my memory.
Anyway, what is it? Last time I got fooled and rubbed my eye with sunscreen on it, I was literally blind for 4.5 days. So.
What item from the show is in the Smithsonian?
Well, that's not a Seinfeld trivia question. That's something I should know by being cultural.
That's a museum question.
That's a museum question.
I want to stick to the show, John.
Is it the peach schnapps? It should be the peach schnapps. It's not, I'm sure.
What is it, John? John?
Or you know what? Don't tell me what it is. Give me a hint. How about that?
What
I don't
episode
ever
is
want
it
the
from?
answer. Let me get the answer.
Is it
Okay.
from an episode? Is it on every episode? Are you there, John? Can you hear us? All right, on to the...
He said yes.
Yes, I'm trying
Yes
to move
doesn't
the
help.
thing here. All right. I just can't read
It's
this.
one show.
That's not a good enough
It's on
hint.
one show. What is the hint?
I need
Which
a hint.
episode?
Lance, I feel like that's crooked a little bit.
It's definitely crooked. I just moved it.
Yeah, that's better. Okay. Don't worry about John. We'll come back to him. He's not
It's
obviously.
an item on one show.
Okay,
Come
that's-
on, John.
it's not a
Quickly.
hint. John, here's a hint. I know a guy. His first name starts with a letter. What do you
L.
think his name is? I mean, that's a hint. Not.
All right. We're gonna go backwards here. What is season 5, episode 2? What hint is that?
Listen, he's not really playing. with
John.
us. John, either give a hint or don't give a hint. But season 5, episode 2, the guy that I'm thinking of has
Larry
hair.
says puffy shirt. The Kramer puffy shirt. Is
That's
that
a guess, I'm sure, by Larry. I'm sure that is.
I'm sure Larry knows, actually.
Yeah, the shirt could be disappointing. Okay, enough of that.
Yes, we have a yes.
Thanks, John. It could have been so much more fun with a real hint.
All right. Deborah Caskill says I had the same reaction to SNL.
Right?
Doreen Barry Lasky says love that song. Always makes me tear up.
Ugh.
Even me reading it. All right. What was that? You didn't like my reading?
No,
Nothing
I
wrong
don't
with being
want-
raw. I love it, Jenna. That was from Barb Best Right.
Thanks,
Gareth
Barb.
Hughes says, what is the purpose of this broadcast?
Who said that?
Gareth Hughes wants to know what we're doing here.
We're doing a 4-hour live show. We're interviewing interesting people. We're waxing poetic about literally everything. We're talking. We're engaging. We're reacting to the political, social, entertaining climate. We're just having fun. And it's a 4-hour show, and we have guests, and we do it every single day. And I was only given like a minute and a half, 2 minutes at the Today Show, and now I get 4 hours. You literally will be sick of me by the time this show's over. Go on.
We're getting mad faces from John.
John
He wanted
from
to
Cherry
know. He wanted to know what kind of hint he could have given.
How about this? Jerry's interviewed by Brian Gumbo. That would have been a good hint.
Okay, you guys. I'm going to let you guys get a room and argue about this later.
No, that's a good
John,
hint.
thanks for taking my role on the show.
Yeah, right. No, that's a hint as opposed to season 5, episode 2.
I'm
Like,
too tired to be beat up on. So, all right. Jan Myers says you always seem to look fit and trim. Just asking, how many days was the diet and did you lose weight? Thank you.
Diet was 30 days. I'm on day 22 right now. I lost probably 3 or 4 pounds, but I leaned up a lot. Not an ounce of anything processed in my system for 22 days so far. Imagine if I did this forever and just didn't eat processed foods. You would all be like rail thin. And thank you for that compliment.
Lori Spildy says Jenna is a lovely woman.
Thank you very much, Lori.
Jan Myers was asking a similar question. She wanted to know, she said you look wonderful, but did you lose weight on this diet that you've been on?
I did. Thank you. If you noticed, that's lovely. Thank you.
Dwayne Moorhead says Jenna is something. I don't have for some reason the emojis are coming up as question marks.
Okay.
Gina Petrucelli, same thing happened to me. Don't know, it was just something.
Cool. Right?
Jan,
it's really cool.
Daphne Lansborough says, love what you were saying.
Thank you.
Jan Myers says it was fabulous, and coming from Lan Collin like that, it was so poignant. It was beautiful.
Yes.
Brian O'Neill says hi from Mason City, Iowa.
Hi.
Lori says good morning. Daphne says happy Monday, Jenna.
Happy Monday, Daphne.
Greg Galvin says you are so hot. Love you.
Thank you.
Julie Garcia says hi from Morgan Hill.
Hi, Julie.
Jackie Pillay says hi from Kentucky.
Hi, Jackie.
Keith Buey says I think you are very much elite.
Well, I don't know about that, but thank you.
Doreen Barry Lasky says hi, you guys.
Hello.
Allison Henderson says hi, guys. Nancy Donaldson says good morning. Linda Valdez says good morning from Kilroy, California.
Oh yeah, Kilroy.
Jay Stauffer says good morning. Joe
Morning.
Nichols says good morning. Ellen Mikulski says hi. So glad to see you on here.
Thank you.
Deborah Caskill says she had the same reaction to SNL.
Yeah.
Linda Valdez says, I don't have the, for some reason, Amgen, Stephanie, Lynn Spears love what you were saying. Thank you. I
Okay.
don't know what that means. Beth Drews Moorhead says, hi, y'all. Jerry Dana Welch says, hey from Louisiana. God bless you. Maria Shiozzi says, hi, Jenna.
Maria Shiazzi?
Yeah.
I went to college with Maria. We played volleyball together. Hey,
Oh.
Maria. And she's like a police officer or sergeant now. Wow, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're watching.
JJ Jones Mercer says weather looks beautiful in NYC. Heading your way in 2 days. You look great.
Great, we'll be here. Maria, if you're listening, come visit next time you're in the city. You guys would love her. She's awesome.
All right, and we are right on time actually.
We're all caught up.
We're all caught
So
up.
just so I'm clear, neither my mom nor Marcy nor Marnie or none of my peeps are watching the show today. It's good to know.
They are all absent. None of them are piping up. Okay.
And John is not mad at me.
But John from Cherry Hill is actually mad at you. He was saying that he was being sarcastic because you were asking him what episode it was on. So he said episode 5, like season 4 or whatever. He was just being sarcastic.
Okay, well, obviously, how was I supposed to know you were being sarcastic over Periscope? But
especially
thank you.
with me interpreting.
Yes.
But I'm glad that he took some of my heat. And Maria says, let's do lunch when you're off the diet, LOL.
Ha.
I get to do lunch. He's still angry. I don't know what his...
Okay, well, let's leave John alone then.
John, sorry. Go get off the...
John, don't be mad at me. It's all good, Faith. It's all good. Maria.
Hamel Mom says, thanks for doing the whole 30. I feel great.
Oh, good.
Aunt and Legend says, big fan from Michigan.
Thank you.
Sorry about those, the Michigan football team. Are they the Wolves? Oh, the Wolverines. Okay, how much do the Lane pay at auction for JFK golf clubs? Larry is saying John is very sensitive.
This is my friend Charlie.
What?
I feel like he should know that we're on the show. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I don't, $800, no, $1,200? I forget what she spent on those golf clubs. That's a good trivia question. I don't remember that one. I remember everything else about it, but...
He says he's not mad. I'm just misinterpreting.
Good.
Of course I'm wrong. Usual, I'm wrong.
Good.
Let's just start off the week the right way.
I
am working on an hour of sleep.
I know you
literally an hour of sleep. So.
We have a fun show today. We're gonna get artsy and musicy and craftsy, and then we're gonna do goody, and then we're gonna hang out with Dan for a while, Dan Perez, our good buddy, and then we're gonna get to the bottom of the question everyone wants to know, like who's actually going to be the first female president of these United States? Like who? Like, is it going to be Kourtney Kardashian, or do you think it could be Ivanka Trump, or will it be Ellen? Could there be an Oprah? Someone will have to take over the role that Hillary could. Will it be Hillary? No, she can't run. She'll be 74.
She might run. Here, let me throw this. I was thinking about
I saw
this.
my parents this weekend, and they're in their 70s. There's no way, and they're pretty fit.
If she had won,
yeah,
do you think she would run for re-election?
Yes. Yes, but within 4 years, she's gotten herself into such, I would say, a rhythm and with the right people around her. I think the back 4 years would be far more easy going. And you want to know something? I'll bet you.
Marcy says she's here, by the way.
Oh, hey, Marcy, I'm wearing your pants. I'm wearing Marcy's pants. It's winter white, in case anyone's going to give me a hard time. Right, Marcy? Winter white? I would say the campaigning was far more of exertion than being president. I'm not kidding. Especially down that stretch. I mean, that took everything out of you. So I think it would be an easier time in the Oval Office than campaigning.
So did you eliminate her from the 64?
I didn't.
Okay, so she's...
You can't. I mean, she's the closest anyone's ever
Sherry
come.
Stretch 1964 says hello to us.
Oh, hey guys.
All three of us. Me, you.
And I have the list, and I will tell you that... Well, we'll get into it. So we'll do that at 2 o'clock. Anyway, so like I said, anytime Lance says to me, wait till you meet this guy, you're going to absolutely love so-and-so. Very interesting, really cool, super talented. So he used that to describe Shane Evans, who's our next guest, who's our first guest. Whatever. I'm really excited.
He'll be on in a minute.
He's going to be on in a minute. So we're going to take a quick break, and I'm going to inhale just a little bit more
Camera
caffeine.
stays live.
We'll be back in a second.